Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2025 Ford Expedition Platinum. This model is finished off in a Glacier Grey. MSRP is just over $83,000. This is powered by the 3.5 liter high output EcoBoost V6. It's paired to the 10-speed automatic. This twin turbo engine pumps out 440 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque. It's primarily rear wheel drive, but it does feature a 4-wheel drive system. Weighs in around 5,600 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds with a top speed of 125 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 27.8 gallons. You'll expect to see 16 miles per gallon in the city and a 22 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 122.5 inches. Its overall length is 209.9. It has a width of 80, a height of 78.1, and its ground clearance measures in at 8.7 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling for this Platinum, you'll notice up front, there's actually a DRL strip that runs in the lower section of the grille, where this also has LEDs for the lighting, of course, but a really nice design to integrate that nicely. There is a forward-facing camera hidden just underneath the Ford logo, where there's also plenty of cutouts to provide cooling to all the components. There's a cutout in the middle section, along with the lower section of the bumper. There's parking sensors up front, even a lower air dam too. And then you'll notice Expedition with the badge at the base of the hood and some really nice lines that flow down it towards the windshield. Now, this model also has a really nice set of dark gray wheels, and the calipers are painted red, which is a nice subtle touch. Now, there's also power deploying side steps to make it easier to enter and exit. There's power folding side mirrors, which have a camera and a turn signal. Gloss black for the window trim. There's also roof racks and a full moonroof up top. Now, this is not the max trim level, so you do have the shorter length, but you have some really nice lines and designs running down the side, just giving it a great overall appearance. Now, in back, there's also the spoiler with the third brake light and the wiper blade. There's a backup camera, all the parking sensors. This can even tow right around 9,400 pounds, which is very impressive. And then there's all of the LED lighting to give it a great look, along with the gloss black differentiation between the lift gates, which I will show here soon. Now, this also has remote start, so you can lock it and double tap that control there to start it up, and then double tap on it again to shut it off as needed. Now, with the new Expedition, you have a split tailgate, so you can use that control or the key fob to open up the upper section, and then from there, if you choose to do so, you can open the lower section as well. So you can use this to sit on if you would like. It'll make it easier to load and unload items as needed. And then, as you can tell with the third row up, you still get a good bit of space with this not being the max. Now, you have some auxiliaries on the passenger side, and then on the driver's side, this is how you can control the second and third row. Now, the third row is going to be automatic both up and down. You can fold the second row down from here, but you will have to go back around and fold them back up. So if they are in the way of the third row, you can at least put them down and then make adjustments from there. Now, you only have one control up top, which will close both of those doors in the rear, which is nice. Now, this also has proximity door handles, so you can lock and unlock it using all 4 doors. This model also has Bang & Olufsen for the audio. There's plenty of storage. You get a little bit up top with some leather accents, and then the release handle inside the grab handle there, which is neat. Now, this also has captain's chairs, which have a really nice design to them. And you have one control here that you can use to fold the seat flat. Now, from here, this is not how you would enter the third row. You can put it back up and either walk around or push this button by the headrest, and that allows you to slide that seat forwards and enter this way, where you have a good bit of space in the back. You'll notice that there's the adjustments to recline the third row, so you can use those. You get some auxiliaries with storage and a cup holder there. Plenty of space down below, and at 5'10", I have about 1 inch or so of headroom, so I can sit upright and be comfortable, which is nice. There's also a little bit of storage there, and then you can easily walk out, lock that seat into place, and then there's a bar underneath to slide it back, so you have that adjustment. Now, there's 2 storage pockets. There's also an area where you can charge items. You get cup holders with a thin storage spot up top. There's also the fan speed, temperature. These are heated captain's chairs, and then there's auxiliaries down below. Really nice flat, wide armrest there to get you more comfortable, and you can recline these seats and be that much more comfortable. So it's a really nice place to be, and you have quite a lot of space with the captain's chairs. Now up front, this also has the keypad, which is nice to see. And then there's also your window controls, side mirror adjustments, and then more storage down below. And then you'll notice the Platinum badge right in the middle of these leather seats. Now, as we start this up, you'll notice this has an interesting design for the steering wheel. It has a flat top and bottom look to it. And you'll notice too that all the controls are hidden. That is because if you hover your finger on this pad, you will be able to see what they control on the gauge cluster. So on this right side, volume is up or down, and then you have tuning. Now, voice commands is in the lower left, and then the upper left, you can get into your steering wheel adjustment and your pedal adjustments. So by activating that, now you have the arrows in order to telescope and tilt the steering wheel, and then you can get into your pedals as needed. Now on the left side, this is going to be for your cruise and your blue cruise. So that way you can activate those limits. And that's all that you have for the steering wheel. So pretty simple, but effective at the same time. Now there's also the liftgate controls. You have your four-wheel drive selectors, and then even driving modes that you can get into. So there are quite a few that you can toggle through on that left side of the screen, depending on how you are driving for the day. And then you'll notice there's one air vent. You do have some information right in the middle that you can configure, which I'll show, and then there's the navigation on the far right. Now with the infotainment system itself, this is how you can get into that information shown up top. So currently I can go to fuel, I can pull up some gauges, so you can monitor that information, so at least you can customize it slightly. Now there's also a lot of icons to get into, and then you have different seating adjustments here that you can get into. There's all of your lighting, so this is how you can adjust your headlights. You have interior lighting, even zone lighting that you can do. You have the rear climate lockout, you can get into settings, valet mode, and then you have a home screen here with the split view. Now for the lower section, this is all fixed, so you can easily get to your fan speed, your heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. There's temperature adjustments too. You can also swipe up, and then it makes it much easier to change the temperature rather than tap it on both sides there, and you have a few other controls, even a shortcut to the lighting on that far right side. Now underneath that, you'll notice plus and minus for shifting. So in order to do that, you would put this into drive, push on the manual setting, and that allows you to do that. When you put it into reverse, you have the backup camera, of course, where you can go through these angles, including a trailering view, where you can also add a trailer, and then you can get a little bit more visibility with the reverse guidelines there. And then you can twist it to the left for park. Now there's also a trailer braking system. There's volume, you have engine start stop, a shortcut to the parking chimes. There's hazards, a shortcut to the camera system. So if you put this into drive, you can push on that and now activate the forward-facing camera and go through all of these angles, including another one for your towing there, which is very helpful. You also have traction control, a downhill assist, and then there's wireless charging along with auxiliaries and the Pro trailer system in this hidden compartment here. You get cup holders on the far right side, lots of storage with several auxiliaries in the armrest, and you can even push on these controls here, and now you can reveal more hidden storage space located down below. You can put items in here up to a certain height and still be able to close this, and it will also provide you with an easier reach for your passengers, so if you have kids in the back, they can grab their drinks that are in those cup holders. Now you have the locking glove box, rear view mirror up top, there's dome lights and controls for the sunshade and sunroof, and then the sunglass holder too. And then here's a look at visibility. You have large windows over both shoulders. So that makes it very easy to see for this jumbo SUV. As we set up behind the wheel now for the new Ford Expedition, I have been able to drive this model in the past. I was able to check out a Max as well. So you can take a look at that video if you want to see the additional storage that you get behind the third row if you are looking for that much more cargo space. But for the new Expedition in general, this is a really cool redesign for this jumbo SUV. Now the steering wheel, I will say, is one of the biggest differences aside from some of the tech here, where it does get a little bit interesting to get used to the steering wheel. I've been driving this for a few days now, so I've been able to get used to it. And I see Ford's design in making it a flat top because of how the gauge cluster is designed and how far back it is versus being right behind the steering wheel. So I like how they've done that, so that way you can easily view that screen. It just takes a little bit of time to get used to and with the controls and everything. But other than that, this has been a really nice SUV to drive. My wife really has enjoyed her time behind this as well, and it's got a lot to offer to it. Super comfortable. We've been able to do all of our normal shopping and trips and everything with it. And it's just been a really nice place to be. Now, it is a big SUV, but honestly, I haven't had any issues with parking this. The turning radius seems very impressive for its sizing. The max is going to be slightly longer, but not too much to really make a huge difference in the parking situations. I do wish that this offered parallel parking. All we have are the parking chimes that you can turn on and off with that control. So maybe that's an option that I haven't seen. But as far as maneuverability goes, the steering is very tight. So I can easily do this 3-point turn here, and there's plenty of visibility. Now, as we get back up to speed, let's put it into sport mode, where you could use the plus and minus here. That's mainly going to be for towing if you need it. But from second gear, here we go. This has a lot of power. Can definitely get up and move, so you don't have to worry about it being underpowered with this EcoBoost engine. Now, that is something that Ford has gone away from. The Expedition, at least the ones that I grew up in, my parents owned, had the V8 engines. So we do have a twin turbo V6. We have a lot more power. We still have a healthy towing number for this SUV. So don't let that deter you, because we have a very powerful engine that has been proven in a lot of the other Ford models. It was introduced in the new Ford F-150 and the Raptor, as they have ditched the V8 in that truck as well. But it seems to be a pretty good engine for these vehicles. Now, this also has a 10-speed automatic, and we are still in the automatic setting, where I feel like the 10-speed is a pretty good amount of gears. It's a lot of gears for a vehicle, but especially if you're towing with this and, you know, out on the highway having some overdrive gears, you really don't feel hardly any of the gears. So it's nice that they're very subtle in their shifts, and there's not too much gear hunting from what I've been able to listen for and feel while out on the highway. So it utilizes the 10 gears very nicely, especially for an SUV like this. Some of the sports cars like the Mustangs with the 10-speed auto, I'm not a huge fan of. I think those cars, the manual transmission or maybe a few less gears. But in the trucks, I can definitely see that being beneficial. And still in sport mode, here we go. And the shifts are super quick, and we are easily up to speed. And this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Expedition. Now, as we take it around some of these turns, for being such a big SUV, it actually handles these very well. So you can have confidence knowing that just going at normal speeds, you can take this around some corners, and you know, it's a big SUV, but it can handle its weight very well. But this has been a fantastic SUV to drive the last couple of days. Like I said, with the steering wheel here, it gives you that F1 vibe just with its design. So it's pretty easy to hold on the left and the right here. You can hold it in the lower section too, just depending on your comfort. And you can even bring this armrest back up to you if you want even more comfort on that right side there. Seating position is really nice too. You have a good outlook over the front here. I have a good bit of headspace, about 4 or 5 inches or so, with a height adjustable seat, so you could be taller than me and get the pedals, the steering wheel, the seating, everything in the right position, which is fantastic. Now, there's only one trim level, I believe, that is above the Platinum here, and you have several below it, including the Max as well, just depending on what suits you best. So for the latest Expedition, this is really nice. Everything is easy to go through, and it just gives you a really nice luxury vibe for this Ford SUV. And it seems to have a good bit of space too. So if you need a big vehicle, it's definitely something to consider. I have also compared this with a few other of the competitors, so you can take a look at those videos to see the differences. But for about $80,000 for this model, this seems to be very nice for what it has to offer. And that is going to wrap it up for the 2025 Ford Expedition. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.